If you concede 4 goals, you can't be satisfied. If I would say that I would be satisfied, then I need new glasses. It's unacceptable, first of all, to concede 4 goals and 3 goals in a row out of corner. There are several reasons for that, but I guess that you more look to the last 2 goals, where some player shoot the ball straight in the goal from corner, and another who passes in the small area, every defender and the goalkeeper, and is scored on the second post. No, I'm not satisfied, and sure, 2 from the 4 goals and 2 from the 3 corner goals are unacceptable. I learned a lot. I know that maybe this is a moment to talk about it. I know that a lot of people had their comments already ready before I arrived here, and that people had their stories. Let me say that Togo was also on the World Cup 2006, and in Togo I worked only with players who play in Premier League teams in Europe, from Tottenham to Genoa to Atlanta Bergamo to Olympique Marseille, Olympiacos, 25 players. So if people say I never worked on this level, then that shows more about how they know the world. But I had very limited time. I came here a week before the camp started, and I had to have a selection. So I was seeing some matches and I was counting on advice. We had no FIFA dates, so we invited, people forget that, we invited Kalim Highland, we invited John William, we invited Levi Garcia, John Bostock, we invited Molino, Jovin Jones, Kato Cordell, Nikhil Williams. So we invited a lot of players who were not available for several reasons, not released because it's not a FIFA date, or personally not ready to perform for the team. But this has consequences if you have a lot of good players missing for such important games. On the other side, I saw in these 2 weeks' time that I worked with the team, the boys growing, working very hard, and I think even that the local people discovered some local players who they never expected to play on this level. So I have some good experiences of working with the boys, and for sure some of the players proved that in the future they have to be in the squad, a part of the squad. But also in these last 4 matches in 2 weeks' time, I learned that some people are maybe not yet ready for it, but that's normal. Let me go very short back. I checked yesterday to the best coach of history of Trinidad and Tobago football, Leo Benaker. He had 3 months' time before his first match. He played 2 friendlies against a club team from here and a club team Peru. He lost and drew that match. His first qualifier was a FIFA match where he had all his squad. In his first 3 matches he lost 2 out of 3. In his first 5 matches he lost 3 out of 5. And he is the best coach in history of Trinidad and Tobago. The man had 3 months' time before he played his first qualifier. I had 2 weeks' time to play my first qualifier and did not have the squad who I originally selected. Because I hear some people saying, select this, select that. I selected them, but for different reasons, not everyone could come.
What happened much?
There are a lot of stories in the media what I read, and I give you one last example about Jovin Jones. I read still today something on the internet. The fact is that 10 days before the 1st of January, I spoke face to face to Jovin Jones. I think it shows a lot of respect for a player to invite him in the federation with all the coaching staff together, telling Jovin, I saw your league matches, I saw your cup games, take a few days off. The 1st of January, I expect you in camp. The 1st of January at 7 o'clock in the morning, I sent the General Secretary of the Federation an email to ask if all the players know exactly that it's 12 o'clock in camp. I get a positive reply on that. I never asked the brother of Jovin to call his brother. I never used his brother. I only communicated straight face to face to Jovin. I invited Jovin 10 days before to be in camp on the 1st of January. I communicated with my federation, general secretary, team manager about the invitations. It's not the coach who invites the players personally, except what I did with Jovin Jones. So I never kick people out definitive. People, I think about Jamal Williams, who was very professional, who knew that he was acting wrong, but who called me, who messaged me, and who in public said, sorry, I let the team down. I think it's very professional behavior. Everyone can make mistakes. And for the future, we need everyone who is ready to play for the country, who is motivated to fight, and who is ready to play in the discipline from the team. Because we have good players. We have good players in the United States, we have good players in Europe, but we have also good local based players. So for sure, I never put a cross over the names who are not there. I can only say that it's disappointing that they were not here the last weeks. I think we have to use the time smart in the way that we can train a lot with the local based players or players without contract. And I'm ready to work on daily basis the moment when the league stops, going camp with the boys. I'm here to work. And hopefully we can play with these guys some friendly matches to prepare them. But we know that the professional players, MLS and Europe, will not be released for non-FIFA matches. There isn't an idea maybe to have a friendly match in January because the United States has it, but in theory the clubs can't be forced to release their players. So let's focus first on getting fit players in their local leagues, local league here, local league Europe, local league United States and Mexico, and follow up them very close. And the moment when the league stops, I go in camp with the boys. Hopefully we can have 1, 2 or 3 friendly matches, and the moment we can invite the players for Panama and Mexico, that will only be in 19-20 March, then I hope we have a squad of, let's say, 24 fit players, and we have to be ready for it. I know now the players who are here. It's only sad that I couldn't use the time to know all the players. Yeah, it's a very good question. We spoke with the medical team before the match. The first thought was to let him start. They give us a green light for 45 minutes. Because we would play a power play in the 16-meter, we would not play counter-attack football, we would have a lot of crosses in, what also happened. We thought his experience could be useful. After the match, he did everything, but he was not to Cornell Glen, who is 100% fit to perform for the team. Did we have to bring another player in? We don't know if the other player would have brought more than Cornell. So that's talking afterwards. I know Cornell, a fit Cornell Glen would have helped us the one chance in extra time, in the beginning of extra time. I know he would have scored that. But I can't blame him. I can't blame the medical team. They gave very clear information about the 45 minutes. If one ball falls correct, maybe he scored that goal and it's the right move. Now he couldn't score that goal, but he did everything, and I'm scared that he broke maybe his arm today. So he fought for his country. Let's see, and hopefully for him, he will be fit for the future. We wanted to play from the start. Let's say that in the beginning, the first game, we were hoping to use our speed in the counter-attack. I think we had also some good actions that time with Nathan and with Tyron in the first game. We choose that time, in theory, we choose for Cornell Glen in striking force, and 20 minutes before the end, I had to bring Hakeem in. That was a choice we made, and Hakeem was working very hard. Today, we knew that from the start we would put pressure, we would play much higher, we would not count on the counter-attack, we would much more play the ball in the box and more in the 16 of the opponent from the start. And therefore we choose also a striker who is used to play in the box. I think that Winchester is not a striker for counter-attack, but a striker who needs the balls in the 16, and he proved that. Again, it's his birthday and he scored 3 goals. I think the boy did it very well. And choosing for Akim Andrews behind him was a feeling of tactic. First of all, he's fast, he can infiltrate in the box, can overlap on the long balls to Shadden, who can head the ball. But also Akim has a very good shot from the second line, proved that in Nicaragua, proves that in the league. And we were hoping of actions from that center duo. I think they did quite well. Akim couldn't get his goal, but was committed. He was only tired when we changed him. And sure, if a striker scored 3 goals, then you can say he played a good game. So I think it worked well, but not good enough in total, because otherwise we had won. I think, again, I cannot say that I feel pressure. I do my job just like I did it every day. I cannot judge what other people thinking in their mind. I know that from day one, people had their opinion about me. And it's like I said, it tells more about the people than about me, because Google and in Namibia I worked with players from Hamburger SV, Werder Bremen, Trabzonspor. In Zimbabwe with players from Manchester City and Portsmouth and all these guys. So if we know only Caribbean football and we have no clue who plays in Africa, then and we judge about that, the number 15 today from Haiti playing Bangladesh earn around $10,000 a month, because that's a normal salary in the Premier League in Bangladesh, where English players play, where Ghanaian and Haitian and Nigerian players play. It's a problem that people sometimes don't know things and judge, and they create a public opinion. I'm not, I believe that people who judge about me know my work and are not influenced by public opinion. They can see how I train, they can see my tactical meetings, my tactical approach, they see my work, and they don't consider, I think, the Facebook or the weblogs, what people are writing. I think my work on the pitch must tell if I have a future here, and I believe I have a future here. Again, knowing that we missed a lot of players, knowing that I had 1 week before I start my first training camp, and Leo Beenakker had 3 months. I think in that opportunity, in that context, I think it would be very realistic that I'm here for the Panama and Mexico games. But again, inshallah, if God decides different, I can't change it.
Okay guys, so don't forget, if you like and subscribe our page on YouTube, Extra Time TV, you instantly qualify to win a copy of FIFA 17. So don't forget, like and subscribe.